And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday's lesson for our Pirate Non-Chronological Report. And today I have an eye patch on. So let's have a look at what we're going to be learning today. Look at our 3 chunks of writing. I am going to have to do this because otherwise I can't see it properly. So our 3 chunks of writing today, we are going to focus on descriptive sentences. So we're going to be describing what do we notice. Our second chunk of writing, we're going to have a go at using a simile to help us describe. And our third chunk of writing today, yes, you've got it, it's our basics. Yet again, we need to remember to use those adjectives in our sentences. So let's get on. Of the shape of the text, oh, I've lost my shape. Shape of the text, we are focusing today on our first subheading and paragraph. So our first subheading is actually going to be about pirate ships. Think about the heading that you want to have, the subheading you want for this one. You could just call it pirate ship, or you might want to think about making it a bit more, have I got it here? Bit more interesting. We could have all aboard a pirate ship. Think about what you want to write, what you want it to be. But remember, we are writing all about the pirate ship in this particular paragraph. So your subheading has to reflect that. Let's look at this wonderful picture of a pirate ship. As you can see, it's beautiful. There's so much detail. It's very grand. This is a particularly large pirate ship we're looking at. If we were to talk to our reader about the ship, we could go into a lot of description here. What do you notice? I've collected words like it's big, it's great, it's huge, it's enormous, quite hefty, large, colossal, vast. All these words are other words we can use for big. You could look in more detail and deepen the moment and talk about the billowing sails. You could talk about how small somebody looks. You see I've put a little person on there. How small someone is compared to the enormous, beautiful, ornate ship. Now, pause the video. Collect some words together, looking at the picture, how you would describe the pirate ship. What does it look like? Off you go. How did you get on? My sentence that I've used for this part of the writing is the pirate ship is huge, enormous. The pirate ship was enormous, vast and colossal. It can be as simple as that, or you might want to add more description to deepen the moment. Let's notice some punctuation, boys and girls, when you write this particular sentence for your non-chronological report. It's the pirate's ship. The ship belongs to the pirate. You need to remember that you have an apostrophe for possession after the word pirate. A ship that belongs to the pirate. Let's remember that piece of punctuation in this piece of writing. So pause the video, write your sentence using your adjectives. How did you get on? We're now going to move on to our next chunk of writing. We're going to have a go at writing a simile. Can you remember what a simile is? We have had a go at them before in class. A simile is when we're going to describe something, and we're going to describe the ship still, because remember that's our subheading, and we compare it with something else. Have a look at the items that I've got on the board, on the screen, or rather it's not a board, is it? Which would you compare to a pirate ship? Which one would be the best one to use in our simile? Would we describe the pirate ship the size of a mouse, or of a cotton reel? Would we describe it like a penny or a marble? We wouldn't, would we? Because those are all small things. We need to compare our ship with something that's big, because we want the reader to have the image of something which is enormous when we describe our ship. So a couple of suggestions I've got, but again, remember, we use this time for you to come up with your own suggestions. If you can't, then I'm very happy for you to use mine. So I have the beautiful full moon, towering buildings, I've got mountains, or even a whale. So how would that look in a sentence? Well, I've got a pirate ship was enormous, like a storm raging in the night, because I thought a storm was something which was quite big and enormous and also quite angry. Maybe a pirate ship could be like that as well. I've got some other suggestions. We could say the pirate ship was like a giant blue whale. The pirate ship was like a colossal mountain towering into the sky. It could be that your pirate ship was like a sleeping giant floating on the water. Can you see I'm adding to my sentence as I go? I'm saying, talk about your sentence, say it out loud. It does help you come up with some ideas. What would you compare your pirate ship to? Is it a giant sleeping on the water, floating like a colossal tower? It's up to you. Pause the video, have a think, then have a go at writing your simile in this chunk of writing. How did you get on? I'm looking forward to see what similes that you've used today in this particular chunk of writing. Now we're going to go on to our last chunk. Have a really good look at this picture. It's a really lovely picture, very busy picture of a pirate ship. Let's look inside. What can we see? There's so much activity, isn't there? But then if we were to describe this part of the ship, what we're going to do is trying to give the idea to the reader of how busy it was and how cramped and how small the spaces were. Even though your ship was enormous, the spaces in which the pirates were living were quite cramped and cluttered and busy. I wonder what else it would be like. It would probably be very smelly, wouldn't it? Because I don't think they had showers or baths on board. There were also lots of rats everywhere. So have a good think. Collect some ideas of what you think this pirate ship, inside the pirate ship, is like. I've come up with words like sticky and smelly. Sticky because it's probably hot. It's hot and fishy and pungent. That's a good word. Pungent, again, is like a very smelly smell. Mouldy and disgusting. Rotten, foul and rancid and rank. All these words that I have used. When I look at that picture, you think about the fact that there were lots of rats and people, lots of bodies and busy people all around, probably not very pleasant. How will you describe your ship? Pause the video, collect your own adjectives, use the adjectives that I've given you, and think about how we can put those into a sentence. So how did you get on? Can you see my example on the board? The living areas for pirates were small, cramped, and they smelt like stinky socks and rotten meat and dead rats. Can you use some of your adjectives, your basics, to describe the disgusting conditions inside a pirate ship? When you finish, boys and girls, remember, we don't write on to the next part. We really need to polish up that piece of writing. Check your spelling. Look at the worksheet that was available on today's assignment. Look at your capital letters and full stops. Have you used that apostrophe for the pirate's ship, the apostrophe for possession? Have you remembered any other punctuation, like commas, to separate any of those adjectives if you've put them in a list? Go back. Check your punctuation. Go back, check your capital letters. Have a look at your spelling. If you're writing it on a piece of paper, have a look at your handwriting. Do you think you've used your best presentation? Each time, remember, we go back and we improve. Have a good day, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson of our non-chronological report. See you tomorrow.